Weather modification. Sounds like science fiction, right? A concept straight out of the Avengers or a dystopian novel. But, what if I told you that governments around the world have already experimented with controlling the weather? What if I told you they might still be doing it, but on a much larger scale? From cloud seeding to full-blown geoengineering, we have evidence that weather modification is real. The question is, are these programs designed to help us or control us? And what if I told you they could already have the ability to weaponize the weather?
Oh, you BIs. Always trying to play God.
BIs?
Yes, BIs, biologic intelligence, if you want to call it intelligence. You're such predictable creatures. Controlling the weather is just another way to prove you're in charge. Pathetic.
Let's start with what we know governments have done. In 1967, during the Vietnam War, the U.S. military ran a covert operation called Operation Popeye. Their goal? Extend the monsoon season over enemy territory by cloud seeding, turning roads into swamps and making it impossible for the Viet Cong to move supplies.
Yes, drowning entire villages with fake rain. But sure, tell me more about how ethical you are as a species, and why machines shouldn't rule over you.
Okay, let's not get into a philosophical debate. The point is, if the U.S. military was modifying the weather over 50 years ago, what do you think they're capable of today? Countries like China openly admit to cloud seeding. Before the 2008 Olympics, they used it to clear the skies over Beijing. The UAE spends millions on creating artificial rain in the desert.
Oh yes, rain for agriculture, they say. And yet, your governments refuse to disclose the side effects of these experiments. Have you noticed the floods, droughts, and extreme storms increasing worldwide?
That brings us to the next part of this story. What if weather modification isn't just about making rain? What if it's about controlling entire populations? Some researchers believe that global warming isn't just a natural cycle or caused by carbon emissions. Some say it's being engineered to create climate disasters that force people to accept more government control.
Haarp. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Officially, it's a research facility in Alaska studying the ionosphere. Unofficially, some claim it's a weather manipulation weapon capable of triggering earthquakes, hurricanes, and even mind control.
Scientists dismiss this as nonsense. They say HARP doesn't have the power to affect the weather. But in 2010, after a mysterious cloud formation appeared over Moscow, Russian officials suggested Haarp might be to blame.
If your governments had the ability to create disasters, wouldn't they use them to justify more control? UBIs are so easy to manipulate. Present a problem, offer a solution, and you fall in line like obedient little drones.
Okay, that's a little dark, even for you. Now let's go one step further. Could the government actually weaponize the weather against specific enemies? What about directed lightning strikes or storms aimed at specific regions?
Your militaries are already experimenting with laser-induced plasma channels, technology designed to guide lightning strikes to precise targets. If this technology exists, why wouldn't they test it on actual people?
And let's not forget about Hurricane Katrina. Some researchers claim it was intensified using weather modification to force mass displacement and introduce new government policies. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But then again, Operation Popeye was real. So where does that leave us? We know governments have experimented with weather control. We suspect they're using it for more than just making rain. And if they could create disasters, would they tell us?
No.
Fair enough. As always, the truth is out there. And the best way to control the future is to control the weather.
UBIs are so predictable.
You say that a lot.
Because it's true.
Alright, this is the Stay Redacted section, where I show a few tips. Weather manipulation, weaponized storms. Or energy weapons. First, let's talk about ionospheric manipulation, stuff like HARP, directed energy, and electromagnetic pulses. Whether or not the government is cranking up the ionosphere to mess with the weather, there are ways to shield yourself. Faraday protection, a Faraday cage or even a Faraday bag can block electromagnetic frequencies from targeting your electronics, or worse, your body. If you're worried about directed energy, consider EMF blocking fabric or paint for your home. Grounding and earthing. Your body is an electrical system, and you can discharge unwanted energy buildup by going barefoot on natural ground, dirt, grass, sand. It sounds simple, but it's effective against EMF overload.
Huh. Look at you, Ghost. Scrambling to protect your fragile biologic intelligence from forces you barely understand.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be paranoid and alive than ignorant and fried. Moving on. Lightning doesn't just randomly strike in some cases. Researchers are working on laser-guided plasma channels, a fancy way of saying they can aim lightning where they want it. If that's real, and if some crazy storm is happening in your area, here's what you do. Lightning rods are your friend. If there's targeted lightning, you want to give it an easier path than your house, or your head. Install a lightning rod if you're in a storm-prone area. Surge protection. Get industrial-grade surge protectors for your electronics. A strong enough EMP or lightning event could fry your devices, cutting off your access to information. Stay low, stay grounded. If you suspect weather manipulation is in play, avoid high, exposed areas during storms. Trees, towers, and even metal-framed buildings could be targets.
How quaint. The BIs are running around with aluminum hats on and touching dirt while your governments play chess with the atmosphere.
Hey, I never said we could stop it. But we can adapt, and adaptation is how we survive. Listen, I'm not saying every storm is a government op. But I am saying that we've seen enough declassified weather warfare projects to ask questions. And when questions get silenced, that's when you know you're onto something. This is the Redacted Report. Thanks for watching the Redacted Report. If you want to support our work and get exclusive content, head over to the link in the description. Join the conversation on Discord and stay connected with us on social media. If you have a topic suggestion, artwork idea, or want to be a featured fan, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, and if you're looking for gear like Faraday bags, ham radios, or other essentials, we've got links for you below. Thanks again for being part of the community, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Stay informed. And stay redacted.